hustlerturf.com. Good to have you in. So I'm a fan of going for it. Be aggressive. If you hear no, figure out a way to find yes. John McClain, big reporter in Houston, said, here's an idea with Deshaun Watson. And last week, John McClain, the leading voice in Houston, said, it's time to move him. He's not coming back. Let's figure out something that works. And his idea is trade Deshaun Watson from Houston to Arizona for Kyler Murray, who is a legend in the state of Texas. Okay, if I'm Houston, that's a great idea. If I'm Arizona, I'm going to pass. And I know most of you think I'm nuts. 4 things to consider. Kyler Murray, still on that rookie contract. Costs me nothing. Number 2 is he has no injury history, and he's a former baseball player. So like Russell Wilson, he's a great slider. He rarely gets hit. Number 3, sorry, but he throws a much better pure ball than Deshaun Watson. And number 4 is he's ascending. I don't even know what his ceiling is. He hasn't played that much football. Listen, Deshaun Watson's a stud, but he's getting kind of thrown into this Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady class. Folks, Deshaun Watson went 4-12 last year. Russell Wilson's never had a losing season in the NFL. We're starting to lump him into, like, he's got 1 playoff win. And I like Deshaun Watson. I like him a lot. But Kyler Murray, we don't even know his ceiling yet. Won twice as many games last year in a significantly tougher division, the best division in football, with some of the better defensive minds. Robert Saleh was a defensive coordinator, now a head coach. Pete Carroll. So Deshaun Watson's last playoff game, he was outscored at one point 51-7. His last 9 possessions, he got points on 1 of them. I like him. In fact, I really like him. He doesn't throw the ball like Mahomes. He doesn't win like Brady. He doesn't completely control a franchise like Russell Wilson. I don't think he's just a naturally gifted thrower like Aaron Rodgers. He's great. But I don't even know what Kyler Murray is yet. All I know, and I don't even know if Kyler Murray has a legitimate NFL head coach yet. I don't know if he does. He absolutely has the 4th best coach in his own division, and he went from 5 wins to 8-8 with an average O-line, probably the 4th best coach in his division, and Arizona's not totally rebuilding, but there's a reason they went and got J.J. Watt. There's a reason they went and got a year ago DeAndre Hopkins. So I would not trade Kyler Murray for Deshaun Watson. When I got a kid that good and I still don't know if I'm at the ceiling, former baseball player, slides well, never gets hit, absolutely throws a better pure football than Deshaun. I've said this. Kyler throws about as good a football as the league has. Aaron Rodgers won. No one did about 6 guys. Stafford's in that class. They throw a beautiful ball. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Tensions are high right now between Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Oh, boy.
Rumors that Russell's time in Seattle could be over are only heating up because the team sent a letter to their season ticket holders. And in the letter, the organization thanked the fans for their support in 2020.
That's
told
nice.
them what they can look forward to in the future.
Yeah.
Mentioned several players.
Really?
Russell Wilson was not one of the members of the team that was mentioned. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They also, of course, mentioned Pete Carroll and John Schneider.
Oh, of course. Got to mention those guys. People
New
love
offensive coordinator Shane Waldron was also mentioned.
in the news, in the season ticket letter.
No mention of their franchise quarterback.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, how petty is that?
This is not an accident.
Of course not.
You can pull a lot of things, but we know a letter that is going out to season ticket holders has been proofread by quite a few people before it got sent out.
The new offensive coordinator and Tyler Lockett are on that letter. Okay. All right.
But no mention of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no. Yeah, don't want to mention him, the greatest player in franchise history.
I personally feel, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I personally feel like this situation is a complete insanity. There are certain situations where I get why there is some tension and why, things are starting to get ugly. This is not one of those situations. We are talking about Russell Wilson, who will be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, he's there. He could retire today. He's a Hall of Famer.
He will be a Hall of Famer. You're not going to replace him. Not that you can replace Deshaun Watson, but you can go into a total rebuild. You're not going to replace his talent level.
Right.
But you can go into a rebuild. This is Russell Wilson we're talking about here. You're upset with the amount of drama that's happened since the end of the season. Russell Wilson has been the best company man in the history of company men. If I was getting sacked 44 times a year, I would say one nice thing about you, not one. Every single interview, go Hawks. He's perfect. He could run for office tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the entire country would
My
vote for him.
sister never liked sports. And then Russell Wilson arrived in Seattle, and she's sending me Seahawk green hearts every time they win games. She's freaking out. He literally changed the entire Pacific Northwest and pro football.
What is he asking for? A little bit of input on personnel, which you don't have to listen to. You can just listen to him talking about it. You don't actually have to do it. He wanted some say over the offense, which he is pretty much responsible for because Pete Carroll is letting him run around like crazy and get sacked 44 times. What is he really asking for? A better offensive line? How dare he?
Outrageous.
I don't get it. But this was not an accident. This was a message.
That was petty.
This is 15 people read that. No one was like, guys, I didn't see Russell's name. Like, yeah, it's fine. Just
can you imagine Green Bay Packers sending out a newsletter to season ticket holders and Aaron Rodgers is not in it? Or in Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes is it?
I can
it'd
see
be
this
embarrassed.
happening in New England.
That's another place that lost their quarterback. There you go.
There you go. Speaking of that guy, Tom Brady is reportedly close to restructuring his contract with the Bucs. He has 1 year remaining on his current deal. And according to Adam Schefter, there is a good momentum towards a contract extension that would keep Brady in Tampa for a longer period of time and help the team with cap relief. So we all obviously always know Brady as somebody who takes less money, but he joined the Bucs last March on a 2-year, $50 million deal that is fully guaranteed. So his $28.375 million cap hit in 2021 is almost $12 million higher than any other player on Tampa's roster. So a new deal would free up some cap space that the team could use to keep the many free agents that they have right now, including someone like Chris Godwin or Shaq Barrett. The Bucs are currently projected with $12 million in cap space, so that's the 17th most in the NFL. So not in a terrible position, but obviously they want to run it back again, which is something that was a priority for Tom Brady as well. So they're probably going to end up restructuring this, which means he will be on a longer deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a very compelling argument that taking less now, it just strengthens. The more he wins Super Bowls, the more his brand is strengthened, and the more money he'll make post-football. I mean, he really has gotten to a point where after this win, the 2 Super Bowl wins for Brady, they're almost like, oh, he went to another level. The Atlanta one, and I was there for that one. That's one of those. That's when Tom, after that one, started doing a lot of commercials. Is like,
I feel like that was the one where anyone who was on the fence about whether he was the greatest or not was like, all right.
I give up. And then there's
what's the point? Unless it was Nick Wright. But everyone else was like, he's obviously the best.
And then this one, where it's like, oh my God. He literally, with no camp, no TAs, new offense, beats Aaron Rodgers, beats the Saints, beats Patrick Mahomes. The 2 Super Bowls that have taken him to a different level. And so I think at this point for Brady, it's like, I'll get this money back, but I'll just get it back from Chrysler.
Well, I don't
get
know
it
that
back
he's
from
going to give up guaranteed money. Like, that's kind of difficult to give up, even at Tom Brady's level. Like, you're going to give up guaranteed money. I don't think he's going to do that. But he'll probably spread it out over the next 2 years so that it gives them some more cap relief. Because I don't know how you're walking away from $25 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money for anybody.
Yeah.
So Blake Griffin has officially signed with the Nets. Love it so much. After his contract was bought out by the Pistons last week, I love what the Nets are doing. It's amazing. He agreed to a veteran minimum contract, and the team reportedly plans to use him as a small ball center coming off the bench. I realize this is not the Blake Griffin of old. He hasn't dunked since 2019, and he's averaging 12.3 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game. He's not the same Blake Griffin. He's not flying around.
No
it's
question.
not Lob City. Like, this is a different Blake Griffin that you're getting. But I do think that he does add value as a veteran player, as a very intelligent player. And we saw last year with the Lakers, you can bring in some veteran stars, guys who used to be superstars. And if they are willing to play a role on a contending team, it can work.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the momentum that happens when great guys join. We always go, oh, I can't believe this star went there. But if you go back and look at the Miami Heat LeBron, it wasn't just the star. It was players. Well, Andre Iguodala stayed with that Warrior team, not making nearly what his market value was. And Shane Battier and Ray Allen came, and they probably had a greater market value. It's not just getting Harden and KD. You're going to get all these veteran guys that are like, listen, I got $140 million in the bank. It's like Jay Glazer saying, driving to the facility knowing you have no chance to compete. The NFL's no fun to work in.
Right.
Same thing in the NBA. It's a winter league. You're getting on a plane knowing you're going to lose 4 out of 5 games. So for Blake Griffin, it's like, of course, these veteran guys are like, I got to be honest with you. I can't. Nobody stacks up with Brooklyn now in the East. To me, and I don't even like Blake Griffin. I think he's a great athlete. He's never a real fluid basketball player to me. But he's going to give you 6 to 8 points off the bench in a play. I mean, he works.
He feels like a player that could play a significant role in, one of those games down the stretch in the playoffs. And you're like, they wouldn't have done it without
Dwight
him.
Howard was actually valuable in the playoffs, and Blake's better than Dwight at this point.
It's really, I just love how aggressive the Nets, unapologetically aggressive the Nets are being this season.
Yeah, no, I think it's great for all sports. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I told Joy today and the producers on the show, I said, I don't have a